Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Xur, his inventory, his location, random rolls, and all my recommendations for April 24th, 2020. Scream me. Okay. So the Xur can be found in his regular location on Nessus. Just head over to the Watcher's Grave, and then of course on top of the giant golden barge you can find the Xur. Of course, this is a high overview of everything that he does have available, and the things of course that catch my eye, Celestial and Hallowfire, are some of the best exotics in the game for the respective class. Both of them being PvE, of course, but I play a lot of PvE. Firstly, can I just take a second and ask, how the hell did Hunters pull out a win on day 3? The Titans had like triple their score when I last looked at like 6 p.m. Where did all these Hunters come from? What happened? Admittedly, the after-school rush hadn't technically come in yet, but really? They caught up? Damn. Okay, bring it. We got some fight here. We got a good game. We're gonna get this Guardian Games in the real kick gear. Moving on to the weapon, we have the Fighting Lion, the only primary ammo grenade launcher in the game. It's got some weird perks to it. First of all, delayed like gratification, grenades bounce, and of course you can hold down the fire button and release to detonate. This part is actually a really good thing about it. If you are not air bursting this item, you are not using it correctly. You need to let go of the trigger once it's next to the enemy. And of course the other perk, Thin the Herd, which is like 3 perks in one, direct hits do more damage to enemy combatants, rapid kills against grenade damage enemies refill the magazine, and kills always drop primary ammo, to the point where I've actually lagged out my game because there's so much primary ammo. So the main use of this weapon is to shoot an enemy, get damage with this weapon, switch to a different weapon, finish them with that, and of course I will automatically reload this weapon. It does in fact have a catalyst that I believe increases the reload speed to near maximum, if not maximum, which is very important for a breakneck, a breech loading grenade launcher? Yeah, I think it's called a breech loading grenade launcher, where you crack open the side and reload every single grenade. It does also have a lot of interesting ornaments on it if you wanted to make it look like a jade lion, or if you wanted to make it look like this, I guess, futuristic looking thingy. I really do like this one. This one's nice. Overall, personally, I don't really like the Fighting Lion. I think it got like 5 buffs this season where they've buffed a bunch of different things about it, but it still is a primary ammo grenade launcher. Unless you need grenade launcher kills for some bounty, which it's excellent for, by the way, because it's primary ammo. I don't like it. I like primary ammo weapons like hand cannons, but I like primary ammo. I like primary hand cannons and having a shotgun or a sniper with me. That's just my style. For the Hunter exotic, what I consider to be the #1 Hunter exotic in the game, because for PvE, when it comes to boss damage or elite slaying, this is the #1 choice in almost all the scenarios. It is an incredible exotic. Its main perk, Hawkeye Hack, modifies the golden gun to fire a single high damage shot, so it takes all 3 of those shots and does 6 times the damage, and enemies eliminated by the shot grants you super energy. It gives you 1/3 of your super back if you kill an enemy with it. So this is excellent for Nightfalls. If you have champions, they almost always one-shot champions no matter what you're doing, unless you're significantly under-leveled power, like in the Grandmasters. And of course you get 1/3 of your super back. Get some melee kills and you have very close to your super very quickly. On top of that, for raids, it also does an incredibly high amount of damage. So for shooting the boss, you do like 60,000 DPS, whereas the Wisp of the Worm can only get around 32,000 DPS, somewhere around there. So it's almost always worth it to have a Celestial Nighthawk Hunter. So if you do not have this, get it now. As far as the role goes, primary and intellect, perfect synergy with this exotic. Secondary and resilience is not really that great, but nothing else really that matters. As far as the role goes, primary in intellect is excellent. Secondary and resilience is never actually that great for any of the classes, so that's kind of poopy. I'd like to see a secondary in strength because of the throwing knife that you have, giving you more super from getting kills with it, and then having a bunch of hands-on, that recharging instantly. It's just better to have strength. And it does, in fact, have a terrifying ornament. And so if you want to scare your friends, this is the ornament for you. As for the Titan exotic, we have the Hallowfire Heart. One of my favorite, if not my #1 favorite Titan exotic to use for PvE. This thing is just a whole lot of fun. Never seen it before? Sunfire Furnace improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities, so your melee and grenade charge twice as fast. I've done a bunch of testing. I even have a guide on a Hallowfire-centered build for the Titans, which is excellent, and greatly improves the recharge rate while your super is charged, which brings up to 4 times the speed. So it changes your grenades and melees from like 80 and 70 seconds down to like 20 and 15 seconds, which is mind-blowingly fast. Combine that with having a demolitionist weapon and some sunspots, and you can get your grenades down to 6 seconds, which is crazy. In Altar of Sorrows, you're just mopping them up like crazy, getting your grenade every 6 seconds. So if you're looking for laurels, hashtag Team Titans, you might want to pick this one up because it will give you grenades a lot faster. And your melees. Hallowfire with the Hammer Strike is excellent. As far as the roll goes, Intellect is definitely a good synergy with this exotic. Recovery is always nice to have, especially if you want to use it for PvP, although that's not a great PvP option. Obviously, I'd like to see Intellect with Strength and Discipline. That's being the best for this thing, but it's definitely a good roll for an amazing exotic that does have an ornament that I don't use very often because I do like the moving fire over the lava, but it is an interesting option. And finally, the Warlock exotic, which honestly used to be like low-key overpowered, and they completely redesigned it when they threw out the one-eyed mask tracking through walls thing. It used to be able to track people through walls just by standing in your rift, which was really cool. And now, instead, with blood magic, weapon kills while standing in your rift pause the rift's cooldown, extending the duration, and further kills maintain and extend the length of the pause. Nobody cares about a longer rift, and now this thing is useless. As far as the roll goes, primary mobility doesn't really make that much sense. You definitely want to see more recovery for more rifts. I know the primary and intellect is actually pretty good because I imagine the only real use you'd want for this is extending the duration of your well, which I believe counts the well. I do not know, but I believe it does. But even then, if you have a well, you're going to want Lunafaction. That's just the operative choice. Or even Phoenix Protocol. Just get your rifts back a little, or your wells back a little faster. This is one of those weird exotics that nobody really used, but it was really good and hasn't been touched since Warmine, and then Bungie said, no, you're not allowed. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you're picking up your 5 of Swords for higher scoring Nightfalls and being able to choose the modifier for the regular difficulty. You definitely need this for things like the Truth Quest, putting on those handicaps. Of course, the Invitation 9 for some powerful gear, as well as some lore and triumphs. And finally, an exotic engram, guaranteed to give you an exotic that you do not have from any of the world drops, or just a random exotic if you have everything, which will be guaranteed to have a higher stat roll. So if you wanted a high stat roll Ashen Wake with a weird amount of strength and no discipline, you can have that with 65 total stat. That is a very odd roll. But that's it. My name is Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, here we go. Oh, you're damn right I'm getting this one. Woo! Got myself some low rolls.